While the world focuses on the frozen trenches of the Donbass and the missile silos of the South China Sea, the largest naval armada assembled in the Western Hemisphere since the 1962 missile crisis is currently tightening a noose around the Caribbean. This is not a drill. This is the kinetic phase of Operation Southern Spear. On December 17th, 2025, the order was transmitted from the Pentagon to the U.S. Southern Command. Execute a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned vessels. The objective is the physical and financial strangulation of the Maduro regime's only remaining artery of survival. Today, we break down the aeronaval deployment, the cold mathematics of tanker interdiction, and the specific military systems turning the Caribbean into an inescapable iron ring. Decades of corruption, decades of collapse. For years, the Maduro regime has treated the Caribbean Sea as a private highway for sanctioned oil and narco-trafficking. But tonight, that highway is closed. The transponders are dark, but the U.S. Navy's Spear is already in the water. In late 2025, the geopolitical tectonic plates of the Western Hemisphere, station of nuclear supercarriers, robotic swarms, and special operations teams designed for one thing, the total physical and economic seclusion of the Venezuelan state. Tonight, we analyze the most complex naval blockade of the 21st century. We will examine the aeronaval hardware, from the USS Gerald R. Ford's electromagnetic catapults to the silent Saildrone robots patrolling the ABC Islands. We will break down the math of the blockade, why a single VLCC tanker seizure is worth more than 1,000 land raids. And finally, we will explore the global diplomatic cordon that has left Maduro's generals with a binary choice: surrender the oil or watch the lights go out in Caracas forever. To understand Southern Spear, we must look at the technology that makes the blockade invisible. Before a single Arleigh Burke-class destroyer even leaves port, the sensor web is already active. This is the first time the U.S. Fourth Fleet has operationalized robotic and autonomous systems on this scale, hovering at 50,000 feet, far above the reach of Venezuela's Russian-made S-300 VM air defense systems, are the MQ-4 Sea Triton and the MQ-9 Reaper. These drones provide persistent wide-area maritime surveillance. Their mission? To feed the Minotaur Data Fusion System, an AI tool that cross-references satellite imagery with AIS transponder data. But what happens when a tanker goes dark? That's where the Saildrone Voyager and Discovery USVs come in. These autonomous surface vessels are the ghosts of the Iron Ring. They glide through the Caribbean using wind and solar power, equipped with high-resolution cameras and acoustic sensors that can hear a tanker's engine from miles away. When a Saildrone detects an AIS dark vessel, it tips and cues a manned asset. The speed of this kill chain is unprecedented. In September 2025, the system flagged a suspicious contact near the Anegada Passage. Within minutes, a P-8A Poseidon Maritime Patrol aircraft was on station, utilizing its ANAPY-10 radar to confirm the vessel's identity through the clouds. This isn't just a blockade, it's digital encirclement. While the robots find the targets, the USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN-78, provides the lethal force. As the world's newest and most advanced nuclear carrier, the Ford's presence off the coast of La Guaira changed the military calculus instantly. The Ford is currently operating its full air wing, including F-35 Sea Lightning II stealth fighters and FA-18EF Super Hornets. Its electromagnetic aircraft launch system, or EMALS, allows it to launch aircraft with less wear and tear, maintaining a 24/7 combat air patrol. These jets aren't just for show. They are equipped with AGM-158C LRASMs, long-range anti-ship missiles, capable of sinking any vessel in the Venezuelan Navy before it clears its own territorial waters. Screening the Ford are the guided missile destroyers USS Gravely, USS Stockdale, and USS Jason Dunham. These Burkes are the muscle of the blockade. Equipped with the Aegis Baseline 10 combat system, they track everything from Iranian Mohajer-6 drones to high-speed narco-boats. Each destroyer carries over 90 vertical launch system cells, packed with SM-6 interceptors and Tomahawk land attack missiles. If Maduro's Su-30 Mk2 fighters attempt to challenge the blockade, they will be facing a wall of fire before they even lock their radars. But why a naval blockade? Why not boots on the ground? The answer lies in the mathematics of regime survival. Maduro's power isn't built on ideology. It's built on oil revenue managed by the Cartel de los Soles. A typical Venezuelan military general receives his loyalty through patronage. That patronage requires dollars. and those dollars come from the massive VLCC, very large crude carrier tankers. These ships are over 330 meters long, larger than 3 football fields. They carry up to 2 million barrels of crude. At current market rates, a single successful VLCC shipment to Asia is worth $140 million to the regime. The Southern Spear strategy targets these high-value assets through kinetic seizure. On November 15, 2025, the Pentagon re-emphasized the importance of these strikes. By seizing just 3 VLCCs a month, the U.S. removes nearly $500 million from the regime's budget. This creates a cascade effect. The oil infrastructure, already operating at less than 15% capacity, begins to choke. Refineries in Paraguaná run dry. Fuel lines in Caracas stretch for miles. Without oil to sell, the Cartel of the Suns cannot pay its lower-tier officers. Loyalty doesn't just fade, it evaporates. Operation Southern Spear is far more than a unilateral U.S. mission. It is a coordinated geopolitical siege that spans continents. Washington understands that a naval blockade only works if the diplomatic and logistical doors remain locked. To achieve this, a diverse coalition of nations has joined a strategic cordon, each playing a specialized role in isolating the Maduro administration. At the legal core is the United States. By designating the Cartel de los Soles as a foreign terrorist organization, the U.S. Department of Justice and the Treasury have redefined the conflict. This isn't just a political dispute. It is a global law enforcement action. This designation provides the shield for the Navy's spear, allowing for the seizure of assets under the same counterterrorism laws used against Al-Qaeda and ISIS. But the strategy requires regional anchors. Brazil, the South American giant, plays a critical role in border containment. While maintaining a public stance of diplomatic mediation, the Brazilian High Command has quietly integrated its intelligence with U.S. Southern Command. Brazilian Embraer R-99 surveillance aircraft now fly persistent patterns along the northern frontier, ensuring that any attempt by the Venezuelan military to escalate on land is met with immediate regional deterrence. Further north, Colombia and Guyana act as the operational flanks. Colombia provides the critical deep intelligence through its network of informants within the Venezuelan border states, while Guyana's growing defense partnership with Washington secures the eastern maritime boundary. This effectively traps the regime's naval assets within a narrow, heavily monitored corridor. Across the Atlantic, Spain acts as the European gatekeeper. As the primary financial and cultural bridge between Europe and Venezuela, Madrid's cooperation is vital. By allowing U.S. assets to surge from Naval Station Rota and tightening the oversight of Venezuelan dark money in Spanish banks, the Spanish government is cutting off the regime's favorite escape hatch for illicit wealth. The coalition also extends to the Caribbean islands themselves. The ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curaçao, under the Kingdom of the Netherlands, have become the forward listening posts for the blockade. Their proximity to the Paraguaná refinery complex allows U.S. and Dutch assets to monitor every ship-to-ship transfer in real time. Meanwhile, Argentina and Ecuador have joined the diplomatic offensive, providing the political weight within the OAS to ensure that the blockade is seen not as an imperialist invasion, but as a collective effort to restore regional maritime security. When the order is given to secure the hull, the operation enters its most dangerous phase: VBSS, visit, board, search, and seizure. These aren't standard inspections. U.S. Navy TACLETs, Tactical Law Enforcement Teams, and Marines from the 22nd ME lies the surge deployment method. From the deck of the amphibious assault ship USS Iwo Jima, helicopters like the MH-60S Seahawk launch at midnight, using fast rope insertions under the cover of electronic jamming from EA-18G Growlers. Teams secure the bridge and engine room in under 90 seconds. They are looking for more than just oil. They are looking for material support, evidence of ship-to-ship transfers with Iranian or Russian vessels, and falsified AIS documentation. Each seized tanker becomes a floating evidence locker, revealing the global network of shell companies keeping the regime alive. This is the quiet war that is winning the Caribbean. Operation Southern Spear is not an invasion. It is a slow and methodical strangulation. As the U.S. Treasury targets the tankers and the U.S. Navy secures the sea lanes, the Venezuelan state is being disconnected from the global economy in real time. The exports have fallen to record lows, barely 258,000 barrels per day. The iron ring is holding. The question is no longer if the regime will fall, but when the military will decide that their loyalty is worth less than the price of a gallon of fuel. As the sun sets over the Caribbean, the silhouettes of the Gerald R. Ford and her destroyers remind the world. The sea remembers every ship, the satellites see every transfer, and the spear is only getting deeper. This is Warfare Report. We are monitoring every movement in the theater. To stay ahead of the next crisis, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Is this the new face of regime change? Or is a kinetic escalation inevitable? Let us know your analysis in the comments below.